I'm a tangled up puppet spinning around in knots, and the more I see what used to be, the less.
What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Hosley, and you don't realize how old you actually are until the pit opens up at a metal show, and then it just hits you. Reality hits you straight in the fucking face.
I've seen you. I know how tall you are. How well do you do in the pit? I just figured that it'd just be elbows all the time for you.
Luckily, I got there super early, and we got like the fast pass tickets to actually get in. House of Blues has fast passes now, so you can just get right in. So I was like right in front of the stage, so it didn't really matter anyway. But yeah, as soon as that pit opened up, I kind of started to veer over to the left a little bit because I got an elbow to the eye, and I'm like, yep, time to veer over.
Yeah, just when you said you were in the pit, I was like, God, Tyler must have taken so many blows to the fucking head.
Just one in the eye, but I was right. What was that?
I don't get it. It's like the pit's like, you like listen to music? Yes, I like listen to music. Do you like being elbowed in the face and not really being able to hear the music? Like, no, that's not why I'm going. I don't want to. You've got to be worried about my next gig I'm going to, because I've seen footage of them and they're disgusting. They're gonna get destroyed. No part of it. There's no safe area in the crowd, and I'm just gonna get absolutely destroyed.
Get a wheelchair.
Especially if you're getting destroyed at Poppy, I'm absolutely fucked.
Oh yeah,
I know the pit at Poppy. God,
it was brutal.
Well, he's in Florida. they have different rules, because I've seen like Cannibal Corpse and it wasn't that bad.
Hi, I'm Craig. Film Enjoy Living In. A little bit of trivia. In April 2001, Marcel Marceau won the Wallenberg Medal by the University of Michigan in recognition of his humanitarianism and acts of courage aiding Jewish people and other refugees during World War II. He smuggled refugees during World War II.
Yeah,
but he is... Yeah. So carry on.
Actually, he was a member of a group, a pretty well-known group called the Armée Juive.
Yeah,
they saved more than there were like 2,000 members, and they saved hundreds of thousands of people.
Incredible. Really, I was absolutely, my mind was completely blown by that fact. But also, have you ever seen him like honk a boat horn with his penis?
Yes, I've seen that too.
You know. Yeah, he's French. That's how they do things. You know.
I think
I've got to put the kettle on penis out. Just their way. Sorry, Kevin.
That period of history was actually covered, you'll find, Craig, in the feature film Schindler's Walking Against the Wind. So just keep an eye out for that.
Oh, that's boo for that joke. Well, I would watch it. Marcel Marceau mimes his way through Nazi Germany to rescue children movie. I'm just saying.
Isn't that just what Life is Beautiful is? Is that not?
No, because they all die horribly, and he doesn't do anything except goof around for his son, so his son doesn't understand that they're in hell. I mean, and of course, the age of the kid, he probably would have been gassed immediately anyway. So no, Life is Beautiful is just a dippy, talentless Italian being a dippy, talentless Italian to the applause of awards givers because they love bullshit. Especially when it comes to World War II, they love bullshit.
I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this week, due to Craig's choice, actually, I'll probably be expressing a lot of my opinions through the medium of mime, which isn't great for podcast content, but I think is in the spirit of Shanks. And I think it's what Marcel would have wanted, basically. when he hadn't been busy escaping the camps and then being caught by soldiers while he was apparently trying to get out of a glass room that only he was struggling. I feel bad now. You've given us that heroic factoid, and then I'm still mocking him because of mime.
Well, I mean, it's...
You're cancelled, Kevin.
Well, no, you can always mock mimes and clowns. They're and
True.
Nazis. They're just like, and he can be a hero. They all these things can be true, and it still means that he'll never get to the end of that imaginary rope.
Yeah.
I can't believe he got cancelled before Tyler. That's some good work.
I mean, that's only because Tyler doesn't, he doesn't stop. I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned exactly. Well, I didn't learn anything. I finished my little shrine to Tyler in my office closet. I open it up, and Limp Bizkit plays, and candles are lit underneath effigies of Rob and Sherry Moon Zombie. And I do this because he keeps sending me things, and thank you, Daddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay!
I can be bought. This week I didn't actually watch much. It was a very busy week. My niece was on spring break and cut off the top of my thumb, and tape 2 of Bloomin' Rage, or of Lost Records Bloomin' Rage, came out. Which, if you like narrative-based games set in the 90s with lesbians, Tyler.
What is it?
Lost Records Bloomin' Rage.
Oh, okay. I was trying to write down the title.
You have...
You've got a little peep into, like, Tyler as an old man. You mentioned lesbians. You're like, what is it?
Do you have the
Where?
the PlayStation Online service?
I don't, actually.
Okay,
I probably should get that, yeah.
Because it's free on that right now.
Okay.
Both parts.
I'm writing it down right now.
Living out a Stephen King story. And I adore it, and it's wonderful, and you should play it if it speaks to you at all. Tyler will adore it. He will be back here soon being like, what the fuck, man? That was so fucking good. And I'll be like, I know. So like that's been most of that, and crying because I cut off the top of my thumb. But I did I watched an old Korean show, which is almost 10 years old now, called Bring It On Ghost. It's about a guy that beats up ghosts. And I enjoyed the shit out of that. So, just
beats up ghosts.
Yes, that's how he exercises them. He punches them. Punches the fuck out of them.
Right.
It stars Tassian, he was a member of the boy band 2 PM, which means nothing to me, but I said it because I'm sure it means something to Craig's wife. And
I don't know. I've lose track. I know there are 3. I'm working on it. I know 3 K-pop groups at the moment. There are many others I need to learn to identify.
Kim So Hyun in it, who is... I enjoy Kim So Hyun when I've seen her pop up and stuff. I don't really know what she's done recently. She kind of became a what's the word? Influencer on Korean TikTok. So I don't see her work as much as like hosting stuff now. But she's adorable in it. They work well together. It's a cute show. I recommend it if you have to watch it. There's also I think there's a Japanese version or a Thai version that kind of sucks. So don't watch the Thai version or the Japanese version. Find the Korean version. It's good stuff. And that was about it for me. Next few weeks, I'm gonna be I bought so many movie tickets for special screenings like an hour away that all of next month I'm going to be watching for the podcast, and then all the rest of my time I'm going to be driving to special movie screenings of old movies that I love and adore, and I can't fucking wait. I'm going to go see fucking RoboCop on the big screen. I am just hard thinking about it. And half of that is because I know how jealous it's going to make Craig.
I mean, I have seen it on the big screen before, but I'm still jealous.
Well then.
I would like to see it again, and again, and again, and again.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones.
It's just one of the best movies ever.
Dude, I'm seeing RoboCop, Real Genius, which is still my favorite Val Kilmer movie. That movie's fantastic. Pazu, one of my all-time favorite movies, and like 3 others. It's like they outdid themselves.
Nice.
I applaud. It's a film group at the Alamo in Winchester, Virginia. I applaud you, Faye. You did fucking amazing. And that's me.
Slight tangent here, Dave. I'm sorry because I was so.
Oh yeah, because those are so foreign to us.
Yeah, I was
Stick
so
to the schedule.
Mention a film
Matthews.
where someone punches ghosts. Now, I meant to mention this before we start recording. I've sent you guys a link in the chat. Craig, are you familiar with the concept of Diggerland?
I am. Well, it sounds you're confusing me. No, sort of. Yeah, I am vaguely aware of it.
Well, obviously, Dave and Tyler like to go to like Halloween nights and theme parks and stuff. I was out for a run today and realised we're about 5 miles along from a place called Diggerland. And I was chatting with Vic on the phone about it. I'm like, so what is it? And it is like it's basically diggers and JCBs. And I passed it. Yep. And there's people, those like funfair rides where you go up dead high. They've got that, but you're kind of in a digger claw. And I'm like,
yeah, you're in a digger claw.
And then he's like, oh yeah, kids can ride the trucks and that. I'm like, what? It's a health and safety nightmare, surely.
Oh,
there are 4 Diggerlands in England and 1 in the US. There was one in Dubai.
You have one over there. I thought it would be such
New
an
Jersey.
alien concept for you guys had it.
I'm looking at the menu now, and it looks like the menu at Tyler's local strip club. But you can go on the dumpers, you can go on the dirt diggers, you can go on the joyrider, you can go on the little tykes. I don't think you should. I think you should stay away from that general area. But
who knows how much you have to pay for a stack attack? I mean, one of them's called Spin Dizzy, but that's you up in the bucket of the truck, just being burled around. Like you've wandered onto a construction site and just hung on.
But you can race skid loaders. I mean, come on. I've kind of always wanted to do that.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Well,
you ever driven one?
I'll maybe let you live vicariously through me at some point soon then, Dave. I think it's got like £40 to get in, like he was telling me, but
it's
maybe
50. It's 50 to race the skid loaders. I'm reading it right now.
Wow.
Right. Make it the next choice for the podcast. We'll have to go to Diggerland.
I once went to a rider lawnmower race. It was awesome.
Yeah, they're fun. If you've never driven one, man, they're so much fun. We had a now I'm gonna like get all nostalgic.
This is tangency as hell.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had a riding mower, and God, I fucking love riding mowers and skid loaders. They're just so much they're just so much fun to drive, man. Like the job sucks when you got to do it, but they're still fun to goof around with. They're not 50 quid fun, but they're fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's fun, and then there's like Disneyland film. Do you know what I mean? Not like Disney come home with arms and legs left because he fell off a dump truck.
Well, the good thing is, if there are any deaths, they can just very quickly dig a grave, just roll them in. Get one of the kids to put the dirt back on, charge them 20 quid. It's a winner.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It was a wild day. Like, I described my route to Vicky. She's like, oh, yeah, did you go near the water treatment plant? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see her smell. And then she's like, yeah, at some point you would have ran past the back of the pet crematorium. I'm like, where the fuck been going. It's like the circles of hell as I just go out to the countryside. Oh, sorry, I had to mention that. Anyway, let's get to the films. I did watch some films. Did I mention last week that I'd seen RoboCop 2, or was that after we recorded?
I think that was after.
Yeah, I think you were planning to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were getting ready to, and we said why, and you did. Anyway,
I wouldn't
Well,
have said that. I would have
I-
said RoboCop 2 rules. Watch it immediately.
Yeah, I think at least one of you, so probably Craig, was like, yeah, it's not bad, and I actually really enjoyed it. Which makes me think I either hadn't seen it before, or I'd seen it at an age where I was basically like, well, this isn't RoboCop 1, like as a kid, and not appreciating it because like it's funny from the off, and it does try and keep the sort of intertwining like comedy and sci-fi and violence. Yeah, it's like really, really good stuff. Peter Weller's back, Nancy Allen's back, Tom Noonan's there, so you get additional Tom Noonan content. And yeah, I mean the corporation's still a bunch of evil shitheads. So I really
and their
enjoyed
plan
that.
to turn a crackhead into a robot policeman goes wrong for some reason.
Yeah, wild. I did finally make it through the Saint, and that was just that. I mean, that wasn't worth the time that I invested in it. I had so many movies I could pick to honor the passing of Val Kilmer, and I went with like the worst choice. He tries to make it bearable. Philip Noyce directing does nothing in terms of the action or any tension. The script is horrible. The only good thing about it really is the soundtrack. I like that. I like the orbital reworking of the Saint theme, and there are a couple of good tracks on the soundtrack. It's bad. I watched The Last Showgirl. Now, I can't remember. Have you seen this, Tyler?
I have not.
Because obviously it's your thing. It's about an older woman who's like trying to make her final years in the showgirl business pay off. It's directed by a Coppola. Yeah, I don't get the love for this, so it was okay, but like Pamela Anderson's performance in this is her being very like her character is very kind of, she's almost doing a Marilyn Monroe impression at times, like the way her voice is kind of Some Like It Hot era Marilyn Monroe, and that's almost fully throughout the movie. It's not like she puts that on stage to entertain the few people that still go to see the show. That's just her, and I don't think it helps that character at all. Dave Bautista is quite good in this. Jamie Lee Curtis isn't bad, and Billy Lord was good. But then you've also got Kiernan Shipka in this, and we've had this conversation many times. This is no like attempt to like judge a woman on her appearance or be objectifying or whatever. But you have people, male or female, who doesn't matter what they look like, they can or they can't do sexy. Like they can or they can't kind of get the essence of that and portray it. Yuri Shipka is not one of those people. I don't know. It may have something to do with like knowing her for so many years. She started very young anyway, and that's obviously something that is like just you think, no, I don't want to see her in that kind of performance. She's not getting naked, but they wear very skimpy outfits. There's one point where she's showing someone else a dance that she's practicing for an audition for, and it's it just doesn't work because she doesn't like give off any vibe of sexiness. So no, I didn't like this, and I really, well, I guess I do understand why Anderson is getting the praise that she's getting, but she's getting it for like just for taking on the role and being in it. Whereas, like, for example, Demi Moore in The Substance, I think that's a great performance, and I think for what that is exploring, I think it does feel like, you know, it's kind of bold and brave for an older actress to be doing that kind of role that is about the value of youth and beauty in that business where it's, you know, ahead of everything else. The Last Showgirl has some thematic sort of commonality with The Substance, but is light years behind it. So, yeah, not a fan. I watched Black Bag, the latest film from the years-long retired director Steven Soderbergh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame he retired years ago and never gave us any more movies. Black Bag is kind of cool and enjoyable. The way certain scenes are strung together, it wouldn't take much to just have this play out as a play, really. There are a couple of main dinner table scenes that have everyone grouped around that really work well. Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett are the I wouldn't say they're the leads, but they're the main couple at the heart of this, and it's all about who might be betraying one of them and what might be going on in their company that could be making things a lot worse. There's a good supporting cast. I've forgotten them all immediately, apart from, is it Tom Burke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's really good in this because Tom Burke I can sort of really like or really dislike depending on the role he's given. I really liked him in this. And then a rewatch of Good Morning Vietnam. I shall just patiently wait for Dave to go, ugh.
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh.
No, I might go, good morning. I'm not gonna go, ooh. I mean, you know, I'll think it. But
The thing about Good Morning Vietnam is, like watching it now, Robin Williams seems really, really young in that role. I know he was, it was like mid-30s or 37 or something, but he seems really young. Like when I watched it when it first came out, obviously he seemed like an older guy and could handle himself and that kind of thing. And now it sort of adds to the film that he's got that, you know, that youthful energy compared to a lot of the others. But the other thing about it is, like, the real treats actually end up coming from Forrest Whitaker's wonderful in this. Bruno Kirby is just brilliant in this. It's gold when you have scenes with Bruno Kirby try to enforce what acceptable comedy is and what the acceptable playlist is. They're just brilliant. And you've got a fantastic turn from JT Walsh as well. It holds up really well. The soundtrack's still great. Williams is on really good form as Adrian Croner. I think it's like really good, but it's made all the better because of the other people that are used to populate the screen as well around Williams, and that's it. So it doesn't actually it doesn't actually become just the Williams show, even though that was the marketing and that was how it's sold, and obviously he's front and center of the big moments. But there's so many treats elsewhere. And last but not least, I actually got around to watching Dead Male on Shudder. Have any of you given that a watch yet?
I'm going to be watching it soon. I know you wouldn't do spoilers, but just to remind you, because I've been looking forward to this for a couple of months since I caught the trailer. I'm excited.
I hadn't seen the trailer, and I just sort of when I saw it appear, I realised it was quite a new release for them. I didn't know anything about it apart from a summary that I did to read, like a one sentence thing. So I looked at that. I think it's I think it's really good. I don't know if Shudder viewers will be like, once again, this isn't horror enough, because at no point is there, this isn't a spoiler, but at no point is there, say, a massive world-eating demon with a chainsaw shoving it up your rectum, which sometimes is what the majority of Shudder viewers seem to want when they make their comments. I think it's more of a really dark thriller, but it's got a great aesthetic throughout. It's got a great vibe. I think it's in line with a few other films that we've really enjoyed over the past 5 years or so. So yeah, it's a good one. I'd really recommend it. I just
Yay.
I don't know if horror fans will embrace it as a sort of full horror, or if they'll be able to accept that not every horror has to be Evil Dead 6 or whatever. But yeah, it's really good. So I look forward to your thoughts on it, and I would hope that you guys enjoy it too.
Yay. I hope so too. I've been really looking forward to it for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
So it looks like my sort of jam.
I mean, it has to be
maybe
better than that Exorcism movie I just watched.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my other choice, so I moved away from that. But as well as it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's one that it's going to be interesting to get the different opinions from people that it will prompt from them, because it's not necessarily one you see and think, oh, I'm straight away going to recommend that to yourself, Craig, or Dave or Tyler, or whatever. It's but that's just part of it feels nice and enjoyably unique.
I got some bad news for you guys. Really, really bad news. We were talking about how it's been very Tylery on this podcast for the last month. Just constantly Tylery films. Tyler just getting spoiled every fucking week. We don't know how it happened, and it's spread. The T virus has spread to my loved ones, to my home. Stephanie chose mid-90s to watch this week, so we watched that.
Nice.
I actually really liked it. I was surprised by how much I liked it. I thought the cast were really good, especially. Man, I did not take good notes. Who's the black skateboarder?
Oh, shoot. If you would ask me just right now. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna make your life difficult and ask you right now. I'm on IMDb. Nuckel Smith. He was really good. Yeah. And the lead, the young boy, was well. It's really nicely shot. I love the the 4:3 aspect ratio with 16mm film. It just looks really, really nice. It's got that. What would you say? I don't know. It feels mostly pretty authentic, and the dialogue works. I think it borrows a little too liberally from This Is England, because it borrows a whole scene from that film pretty much exactly as they are in that film. So the structure it definitely borrowed, and little moments to borrow. I feel like it's definitely a little bit inspired by, strangely enough, Snowtown. There's a little hodgepodge of chucking ideas he'd see. What's the director's name again? Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill. He definitely had a bit of a magpie attitude to chucking bits of his influences in there. But overall, and it was just quite a sweet story that at the end it touched me, and I liked it a lot more than I expected to. I didn't watch it when we did it for this show. It was when I was absent, but I know you've all seen mid-90s. I know that.
We did. We covered it on an episode. Something.
Yeah.
I
It's a very solid debut, I think.
Friend over mid-90s.
Pardon?
I lost a Facebook friend over mid-90s because that was one where they're usually a reasonable person, but they're on about how sick it was, and this kid is like a woman. I'm like, you realise that when people get shot in films, they're not really dead. It's called filmmaking. I mean, they went absolutely like full wanting to be Mary Whitehouse censorship Karen on it. I was like, I get it's like not pleasant for everyone viewing it, but it's a film.
I mean, I'd search it to tell you which episode it was, but yeah, it won't come up. And instead, the idiots at other similar name podcasts.
Oh well. But yeah, I like Midnight. I was surprised. I think Jonah Hill is a bit of a rotting piece of crap, but you know, he made a solid little debut there, so good for him. And then like the virus has continued to spread because these people are Stephanie knows Tyler, but Stephanie's son doesn't know Tyler. James knows nothing of Tyler, and yet this week he decided we should all watch Project X.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, another Tyler favourite which I hadn't seen, and I really liked because okay, I couldn't care less about any of the characters really, and as a found footage film, it is as dismal a failure as you can be. It is not a found footage film. It fails in every regard, and I don't know why they made it a found footage film because it just very obviously throughout is not one. The only film I've seen fuck up the found footage format more than that was that last Paranormal Activity film where in the third act, fuck it. So I do think it's a terrible found footage film, but you know what? I just had a blast. The escalation in that film is kind of beautiful, and it just has that energy. A party I would like to be on the outskirts of for about 10-15 minutes, trying to get a beer, and then realise I'm not willing to like penetrate deep enough into that party to get a beer, and I just go home and watch Project X probably. But you know what? I really like it, and there's some really good shots. It's just got great energy, and it's like a long music video really. But I enjoyed it. It was really entertaining and really well crafted. So you know, good. I enjoyed Project X. But then you know I had two films, and I need back to Earth, and I brought us back to Earth via Mars and showed James Total Recall, the good one, not the shitty one. And I love Total Recall. It's I think it's the least of Verhoeven's American films, but I do think it is top tier up Schwarzenegger for me. It's just his gags actually work in this one. I think my like Arnold little gag was considered a divorce. That's a beautiful moment. It's got great villains. It's got some insane practical effects that still like make just drop my jaw. There's some really incredible effects work, and it's just a well-paced, well-cast blast of a film. Like I hadn't seen it for years, just like RoboCop. I don't know why I've been like neglecting Paul. But and we're going to watch Starship Troopers next week, so we're going to get some more Verhoeven. But yeah, I really, really love Total Recall. This Arnie playing to his strengths. It's you know what I really liked about it this time because it has never occurred to me before. There's a bit at the end. There's a second twist, isn't there, where Arnie's character is sort of a plant, and the version of the first version of him was sending him to like weed out the rebels, and he's actually a villain. And he records this little monologue to explain to himself that he is a villain. And then the camera sort of pans out, and what's the actor who plays I can't remember what the actor who plays the Ronnie Cox. Ronnie Cox just kind of moved the frame, put their arms around each other like big buddies, and like, haha, we got you. It turns out the whole film. God damn it! Who's the guy who's a bit like Jack Nicholson, but isn't Jack Nicholson? You just when you can't afford Jack Nicholson, you get. Pardon?
Michael Ironside?
Michael Ironside. It turns out that Michael Ironside has had to kill Arnie throughout the whole film because he wanted his BFF spot. He wanted to be Ronnie Cox's BFF, and he was being real bitchy about it. And I enjoyed that kind of soapy element, which Verhoeven uses a lot more in Starship Troopers. Verhoeven he's a funny guy. I like him. But yeah, I had a really good time with Total Recall because I always do. And that's me for the week.
You would also have a really good time, Craig, with episode 359, and that's where we discuss.
Yeah, I just looked it up too. I was about to say it, but Kevin beat me to it, and he's never gonna let me live that down now.
Kevin beats you. Kevin.
He does.
Stop it.
It's okay.
I didn't. I didn't watch much this week. I watched Hard Eyes again. I really like that movie. I can easily see it becoming like a new comfort horror movie. I think it's a blast. Love the cast.
Sure, one of my family will make me watch it this week because you infected them.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think you'll like it, Craig. It's a fun little romantic horror comedy, and it actually works with the genres. So I dig it.
Okay.
Besides that, for some reason I randomly watched Leprechaun 4, which is awful, but it has Warwick Davis like rocking a lightsaber, so it's amazing, and I kind of love it. It's a terrible movie. The sets are terrible. Just the actors are terrible.
It's the worst Leprechaun film, and still quite watchable.
Oh no, yeah, I like all the Leprechaun movies, every single one of them, except for the one with the wrestler that I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Origins, that one was terrible, but I think every Leprechaun movie is super entertaining. Leprechaun 2 was actually the very first horror movie I ever saw. I think I told you guys that story, but when I was like, I don't know, 4 years old, I saw Leprechaun 2 because my parents had like a VHS tape of it, and the girl's titties turn into lawnmower blades, which explains my taste till this day. So,
and you're like, hey, the guy in this film is the same height as me. I can relate.
It's true. I have not grown in height since. Me and Warwick are old pals. That's it for movies. Besides that, a lot of the Mayans. I've been watching a shitload of the Mayans. I'm almost done with season 3, but I'm really digging it so far. So that's me.
Oh, I'm still being made to watch like Sons of Anarchy, which I don't dislike, but it's basically the same. Oh, they're gangsters, but they're nice to the people and all bullshit that you get with the crazy stuff, but just in a Hell's Angel gang. Sorry, it's just. Oh.
Yeah, Sutter says it's Shakespearean, but it's a soap opera. It's just a silly soap opera with occasional moments of like ultra violence. And the ultra violence can be horrible, but I don't know. And there's way too much fucking rape in that show. If he wants to like punish a character, he has them raped on screen, and he does it way too many times. You can look forward to that.
Doesn't really change. He did that in that. What was that period piece where he tried to do?
The Bastard Executioner.
Yeah, I hated that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape in that too.
He did a period piece and just didn't think of a better title than The Bastard Executioner.
Well, I mean, it's basically his normal shows just before motorcycles existed.
It's like it's the Kurt Sutter version of Game of Thrones, kind of. So just like that, yeah, that's just kind of what it is. It only lasted like a fucking season though, so it's there ain't much to it. I think it's like 10 episodes, if that. There might be 8.
You want to go T or do you want me to go? It's up to you.
I'll be quick because I really don't have much positive to say about this one or William Castle films in general, honestly, or mimes. Fuck mimes. William Castle is good at gimmicks, and I do enjoy the original House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts, but his stuff is mostly shit, and this is up there as his worst, I think. I mean, yeah, this is by far the worst William Castle movie I've seen, and I've seen that one where the fucking head rolls down the stairs with a fright break, and that was just awful, too. There's good ideas here, like the puppetry and reanimating the dead. With a more competent filmmaker, this could have been solid, and the whole thing is very strange, but it's boring strange. It's tedious, and it's just it's a fucking chore to get through. I love me my weird cinema. Fucking give me Eraserhead, give me Inland Empire, just anything, just give me weird. and this was just not it. Like if I wasn't watching this for the podcast, I would have shut this shit off at the mute dinner table scene. That was enough for me. That scene was just like, yep, I can't take this anymore. I mean, Marceau, he's fine and apparently a wonderful man, and now I kind of feel bad. Not that bad, so I'll get over it. But I can't really judge the performance. I guess he's fine in this. He's doing what he does because he's a fucking mime without clown makeup. I find mimes to be unbearable. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I hate mimes. The pacing is awful. Dave nailed it. The whole thing is just fucking filler leading up to an ending that really just sucks. I did not like this movie at all. I mean, this might be the worst thing I've watched since that Beaver shit we watched a few months back. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think anything's as bad as that Beaver movie, but it's close. It's very, very close.
I loved Hundreds of Beavers. I fucking adored that movie. I'm just saying, just so you have a comparison.
Yeah, I know. That movie. I don't know. Shanks a little bit better than that, I guess.
Well, before I get to my full thoughts on Shanks, I've got to say, Tyler, keep your William Castle insults out of your fucking mouth, because the man is a joy and we should gloriously celebrate him at every chance. And you will be watching more William Castle movies, damn it.
I did say I liked House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts. But...
Well, not those ones,
Fuck
those ones.
Did you see The Tingler?
Yes, a long time ago. I don't really remember much of it, but I have seen it.
Tingler's a lot of fun. I saw Mr. Sardonicus in a cinema screening that was fun. I get it though. He was.
Villa has a stuffed Tingler. It's amazing. Sorry.
Oh yeah, jealous. So fucking jealous.
She got it because she saw Victoria Price hawk it on a web thing we watched.
Nice. Like he is the gimmick guy though. That's well known. William Castle has done that as a director, and then he did some other interesting things in other roles. But Shanks, I can see why Castle sort of brought the elements together for Shanks. Obviously, like there were things here that could have been really good. The script is terrible. I think it's the first feature screenplay by Ranald Graham who did this. I can't even remember if he did many other films. I know he did some TV work after this. So that's really bad. And I agree with Dave about, so much of it feeling like filler and being quite sort of nonsensical and loose. But that wouldn't have been so bad if the concept was handled well enough to really play to the strengths of it. And the strengths of it should be Marceau, like, doing his stuff, but in horror movie ways and a horror movie vibe, being reanimated body, being the puppet as opposed to just the puppeteer. I think where the film fell down for me was we actually saw more of Marceau as the puppeteer character, and then like there were one or two bits that were great where he is puppeteering another character also played by himself that was actually really good, and I'm like, are we gonna have a lot more of this? Because if the film has been built around this, I'm absolutely down for it. And it didn't do much more. And you actually had Marceau being the puppeteer with other characters who are on screen doing stuff that Marceau could do so much better. You're like, why are we watching these people basically do mime on screen alongside, I would say, the world's most famous and arguably most talented mime artist. So that was quite frustrating. And then the rest of the plot, as slim as it is, like, it just isn't good enough to make up for that. I really wanted, I know it sounds a bit maybe a bit sort of silly and just it probably would have seemed indulgent, but I wanted more of Marceau, kind of puppeteering Marceau, and that would have been great. And there is, that main sequence where he is being puppeteered has that really good mix of kind of creepy and kind of like quirky and darkly humorous, and it's almost like a flashpoint for the film. It's this one little absolutely brilliant sequence that the rest of the film then never comes close to, which is a real shame. I mean, the less said about the motorcycle gang stuff, the better. Although at least we got to see Don Calfa in a small role. But that was just. I mean, I had to really stop myself from completely tuning out as soon as they appeared. It was like they had driven in accidentally from some other film that was being made next door. So I'm sorry, Craig, I didn't really enjoy this, but that's because there was one great moment that showed me what the potential was there for. And again, I can see why Castle came up with this idea, and maybe the hopes he had for sort of planning it out, but it all went wrong in the plotting and the poor screenplay. They probably thought they don't need much of a screenplay, what with their star being a talented mime, but they still need to do more work on it.
Yeah, my pick, my first time watch for me as well, and I would say I like it a bit more than Dave, but I am in agreement with all of you, I think, in that the ideas are a lot stronger than the execution. I can't deny that. That's just, it's bang on. It doesn't really come together, which is a shame, because I liked 66.6% of this film. Like, 2/3 of this film are cult gem material. Like, I feel there is a lot of atmosphere in this film. I feel that what they nail is they nail macabre. They nail that. I've seen a lot of people try to make films that had the macabre, and they have more money, they have more studio support, they have bigger productions, and they still can't quite pull it off because I don't know whether they're trying too hard and it's too false. Whereas here it feels very genuine, and there's a lot of dark kind of whimsy and gallows humor that I really like. I feel it has the tone of a fairy tale, what they were before they got Disneyfied, which I really appreciated. It reminded me of my dad when I was little. Used to take me to like fairgrounds, and one near me where it was a setup where you would shoot little targets and it would make animatronics jump out of barrels or burst out of toilet stalls. And my dad used to think I really liked it, and he had me when shot these animatronics and had them pop out at me, but they actually scared the fuck out of me because they were really fucking creepy looking. And this just gave me that kind of took me back there. It really is just very macabre, and I fucking love that shit because I just don't think it works as well in other films. I think it's something that people really struggle to put on the screen, and here it happens almost half intentionally, half by accident. I reckon it really worked for me in terms of that tone, and I think there are interesting ideas. I like how Marceau's character he's almost a serial killer in that he's got that. The whole thing is about his need for, and then where serial killers, they need control and they find it in dark ways. That's kind of what you've got here. He finds out how to fight over his own. It's interesting, even if it doesn't go as far as it should. I thought Mosso was. It's true. Like he goes too big, which is weird for from being signed. He goes too big in his main role sometimes, but outside of that, there are smaller moments, there are small gestures, small mannerisms where it really comes together. His performance really works, and as the puppet performances, I think all the mimes in this are fucking wonderful. You sometimes hear the phrase, you can see the strings, and it's total opposite, because it's like you can see the strings, you can see what is powering these characters from outside of themselves, and it's like only the French could make a mime world famous. But I came away from this film with twice as much respect for mimes as I had before, which was pretty much zero, and now I have one respect for mimes. But there's some really impressive, and I like the whole cast. Who was the younger again? The one who's going to be in Slumber Party Massacre 2 when I vote for that as my winner. I thought she was really good.
Was it Cindy?
It's Cindy Eilbach.
Yeah, I thought she was really good. Like, she grounds the story a bit just before it goes off the rails by being the only person in the film who's like, dude, this is really fucked up. And it still kind of goes along. But, she's kind of, along looking at everything with, like, some concern. The issue is the third act. The third act it's not good. It was said that Marcel Marceau bullied William Castle on set. I'm going to be controversial here and bully him enough, because this film loses its way. It shits the bed so hard in the third act, and not like burn your bed, shit the bed, but at least burn your duvet, shit the bed, because it goes from this interesting idea that could turn into something great. It just becomes like the city driving schlock that Castle made his name with. Like, even the score, which was really good for the whole film, it's a really fucking great score. This kind of melancholic, whimsical score has been so strong throughout the whole film that the production design, which have been really throughout the film, it all kind of it loses everything and just becomes we've got to finish this film, what do we do? And it all becomes very typical and very dull, and it's frustrating because I can see better ways of finishing this film, like dig into the Frankenstein parallels more. And what I really have, when the biker characters come in, they are apparently, it takes them like a couple of hours to radio these corpses. Why was Shanks so important then? I needed something in that third act to show why Shanks was needed for master puppeteer. I thought, maybe operating a puppet, which itself is something like that, something that the master, but it doesn't do anything. It's a big mess, that third act, and it kind of it didn't spoil the film for me. I still the first two acts, but I don't know. I really wish they don't even really have a third act. They just kind of gave up and threw a lot of shit at the screen, and it did not stick, which is a real shame. But like I say, the atmosphere is great. The mime performances, you won't hear me say this very often. They're really, really well. It's just it does not stick the landing at all, it's a big shame. Am I still here?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, cool.
I was waiting for them to go, but nobody was saying anything. So
I can just keep going.
Yeah, keep going with The Dirt, baby.
The Dirt. The Dirt is based on the autobiographical book The Dirt, about the rise of are they an LA hair metal band?
yes, they are.
LA hair metal bands. Fuck, what are they fucking my brain's going really blank. I'm like brain farting hard.
Mötley Crüe.
And their rise to infamy. I'd seen this before once, and I quite liked it, and I still like a couple of elements of the film, and they're surprising ones, things I did not expect to enjoy, and I'll say nice things about them at the end of this tirade that I'm going to go on. Like I said a couple of months ago, I watched The Age of Innocence. And I said, that got to be the most ironic time in the history of cinema. But The Dirt beats it hands down, because at least in Age of Innocence, it's intentional. It's meant to be ironic. But this, where is The Dirt in this film? Where is any dirt in this film? Like, it's not under the cast's fucking manicured fingernails or on their fucking costumes. So they look pristine enough to perform fucking invasive surgery in. Like, it is definitely not on the fucking immaculately polished studio sets. Like, music venues, live music venues are fucking toilets today in 2025. So God knows what they look like in the 1980s. And I should not be happy to eat my dinner straight off a fucking floor of a fucking LA music venue, but I would eat my dinner off, eat a lamb bone with coconut rice straight off a fucking floor of this set, because it's spotless. It is fucking spotless. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say the movie has the worst production design I've ever laid eyes on in my life, because it is 100% antithetical to the story it is trying to tell. Just complete shit. And like, normally I would look past that and say, look, it's just one element of the film, so it's not that big. But I feel it is a film. Like, it completely flushes any positive attributes. It's a massive flaw. But B, the reason I truly, utterly fucking despise this movie, and I really do despise this fucking movie, it is the most disgustingly sanitized, like, pre-packaged corporate product I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, everything is scrubbed fucking clean, like polished to within an inch of its life. Any rough fucking edges have been sanded, fucking baby-proofing an apartment. So, eventually you've got this movie that somebody at some point saw a pitch of unbridled debauchery. And what you end up with is something as edgy as Yogi Bear. Like, no claws, no teeth, just stealing picnic baskets when you could be straight up disemboweling people. Like, I was really offended, deeply offended by how inoffensive this film is. It is everything, and I mean fucking everything, that is wrong with cinema in the streaming era. It stands on the top of a pile of, like, this is the shit you're going to get from now on. And I fucking, like, I would normally apologize, Tyler, when I'm this mean about your picks, but this is the perfect representation. Kill everything you love about Tyler. It'll kill people like Harmony Korine and Andrea Arnold and fucking Sean Baker. They risk becoming square pegs in, like, a landscape of round holes because they just won't fit. They won't fit the mold. This fucking mold. And you know what? I fucking hate it. I hate it as much, as fully as I've ever hated. And I look at this film and I think the only thing we can do really is ground reject this anti-cinema fucking trash. And I hate it. I hate it ideologically a lot more than I do in any other way. But yes, it's a good enough reason. Like, I lied about just parts. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not going to praise the efficiency, the cultural holocaust that is the streaming era. This film is bullshit, and it's everything that's wrong with film in this era. Fuck this movie. Fuck it in the ear.
Well, I mostly agree with Craig. Except I will say that no, I just mostly agree with Craig. It's pretty shit. The cast is mostly atrocious. I will throw Tyler a bone here, and I will say that Machine Gun Kelly is not the worst thing in it. He is okay. His Tommy Lee is not Tommy Lee. Just they're not characters. They're nothing. They're not interesting. They don't do anything interesting. I've never seen so much partying be so fucking dull before. Is the guy that replaces Vince Neil even a fucking character? Like, does he have a line? It is literally, they just gloss over everything. At one point, one of the 4 leads kills a guy and gives 2 other people brain damage. It is a grand total of 5 minutes in this movie. Then they pretend he was mostly sober after that, instead of the piece of shit he is, who kept fucking up and kept getting fucked up. Despite, only serving, 19 days in jail for murder and giving people complete and total life destroying brain damage. Heather Locklear is nothing. Tommy Lee's life is like Tommy Lee disappears forever, except to show up and be like their jokey sidekick in a couple scenes. His tendency towards violence is summed up in one scene, violence against women, where it's literally they have the woman badmouth his mom for 5 solid minutes before he does anything. Mick Mars is nothing. He is a non-entity in this movie. The guy that plays Nicky Six, Douglas Booth, is an absolutely atrocious actor. He is fucking terrible. Apparently, he's had a career. Apparently, in England, you just need to be pretty, and in America too. Who am I lying? But he's atrocious. His Nicky Six is less than nothing, and he is supposed to carry most of this film. It is bad. It is dull. It is just like, I don't care for music biopics generally. They're too far divorced from the reality. They're too bland. They're, instead of telling the real story, they try to tell weird manicured and cultivated things which
The legends
aren't better. Yeah, they're printing legend, but they're not good legends. Like, we watched the one about who was it about? I'm totally brain farting. Not Muddy Waters. Crap. It was about
Was it Blaze?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one I picked, Blaze, but
No.
Blaze Foley.
No.
Is it not the White Lightning one? Was it? Is it White Lightning?
It was I can't even remember. Oh, it was the Lead Belly movie. Lead Belly. Just Lead Belly. I can't believe I couldn't think of that. We watched the Lead Belly movie like a year ago. And that is legend building. Very little of it's real. But at least it tells an interesting story with its fiction. This isn't even that. This is just guys without personalities partying to excess, but nothing happens, nothing does it, nothing means anything. And then they stop and try to make us feel bad that this guy who is a completely and total deadbeat dad's daughter died of cancer. Yeah, that's really sad for the kid and her mom. Not so much for the dad that didn't give a fuck, except for the fact that, it made him sympathetic in the biopic 30 years later. Just, it doesn't get into any of it. It glosses over everything with such a sparkly sheen. Not even getting into the pretty regressive views it has, especially on women. I don't think there's a single female character in this film. And every woman, like, they don't even speak to them. They just fuck them. And yeah, I get it. They're an 80s hair band before the rise of AIDS. That happened a lot. I get that. I understand it. But there's not a single female fucking character. Except Tommy Lee's mom and sister. And the sister has one line that's 4 words. Mom has 2 lines. That's it. It's just nothing. It is fluff, and it's not even interesting fluff. The only way you can be into this is if you're a really big Mötley Crüe fan. But who the fuck is a really good big Mötley Crüe fan? They're one of the most mediocre, hacky fucking hair metal bands. They had 2 good albums 50 fucking years ago, and those albums weren't even that fucking good in the pantheon of fucking hair metal. It's time to just fucking forget these wastes of sperm and egg, and move the fuck on. This movie should be burned and forgotten. I am not a fan. If that didn't underline it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. I didn't expect such a well. I always expect a rant from Dave. Didn't expect Craig to label it as yet another frontal assault as part of the cultural holocaust that is streaming.
I did actually. I sent Dave a thing on Messenger and said, "Can I say?" I'm not sure if that's okay, but I've said it, and I agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you too. It's you have a good point.
There's me thinking we're going to record the podcast night, talk about Shanks a bit, and then be jokingly singing about girls, 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 and wearing wigs and
Nope,
tight
and I'm not going
leather
to smoke in
pants.
the boys' room with you either.
I did not foresee the words cultural holocaust being bandied around because of the dirt. But I did. I enjoyed this. I thought I thought I appreciated what was shown and hinted at, but it was almost as if there was a hint of issues with individuals that were just there to then clarify that the film's not going to be looking deeply at these people. This is something to acknowledge that, you know, they're not great people, or certainly weren't then, and we all know it. Let's move along to the fun part about the band being a rocking band and having their band issues. Like that's the way I took it for that stuff, because you can't, like, I don't think you can know anything about Mötley Crüe, or particularly Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, and not have an idea of some of the bad shit they got up to put it mildly. So I think it just, to me, it felt like that little indicator of them essentially saying, we're not a kind of film, but that's there. And obviously it's based on the book written by the band, and I think Neil Strauss was helping them write it. And that's always going to be them, whether consciously or subconsciously, painting themselves in a better light than others.
Well, I guarantee that book makes my point for me by being 1,000 times more disgusting and more filthy than this, sanitized movie.
I mean, it does. The book is a real vicarious thrill to it, less than say Aerosmith or David Lee Roth's or anyone else's book, but it does have that, because they are even aware of the emptiness that they have.
Yeah,
the movie isn't at all.
I mean, I got that in the movie, being aware of that. Like it's all a hollow, like, bit of shit in service of the gigs, really, and the moments of playing Rockstar. I think Jeff Tremaine does a decent job at directing. I like the screenplay overall. I like the little moments that sort of, just take a tangent, and we do like a tangent now and again. There was a fun 24 Hours in the Life of a Rock Star sequence with Tommy Lee there. That yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was more about that, careful what you wish for idea in terms of a big hair rock band from the 80s. That's what I got from it, and I really like that. I think he's not on there a lot, but I like Pete Davis as the sort of manager or the agent who helped him get the first big step. It really irks me that I have to say, how much I enjoyed Machine Gun Kelly as Tommy Lee, or Colson Baker as he's credited here. It really annoys me to say that. But I thought he was great. I thought he was the best one out of the band. But I like Dave. I quite liked Douglas Booth as Nicky Six. I thought he was kind of, he was slightly pantomimey though, but that felt in line with how they were on stage. So I just assumed that was blurring over. I liked everyone else. There's Daniel Webber as Vince Neil, and there's the guy whose name I can't pronounce as Mick Mars. Is it Ewan Ruin, who's also in Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
it is. I will real quick point out that Pete Davidson played Tom Zatat, who was their Elektra executive. Their manager is Doc McGee, and he's played by David Constable.
Okay. I remember them sort of pointing to different people, and I couldn't remember exactly who was who. But yeah, quite early on, well, really from the first scenes, it is giving you that idea of what kind of film it is, and I liked it for what kind of film it was said to be. I absolutely get Craig's point though about there's certainly a lot of it that was far too clean, and like we should have been watching scenes where, as you're sitting watching them, you're somehow feeling like your own feet are sticking to the floor. You needed much more of that kind of feeling, and there was none of that there. There was none of it. There wasn't the grime that way. Not enough sticky floors, which is obviously a complaint that Tyler makes most weeks about our movie choices. But I just, I liked it as say for what it was, and it's one of those films that's basically an ad as well. And I'm listening to some of our tracks thinking, yeah, I quite like some cheesy Mötley Crüe songs. I'll probably listen to them when the film's finished. And I haven't yet, but it's going to happen at some point. So thanks, Tyler. Thanks for all the neighbours wonder why I'm finally trying the joys of Hairspray. singing glam big hair rock.
You know what the worst part about this movie is? It promises us that 2015 is their last show, but no. No, they just released, they're touring, they just released a new song just a couple months ago, and it's one of the worst things I have ever fucking heard.
Like, not in the I don't mean this to sound quite as clear cut as I know you might take it, but it's also one of those films that basically feels like an advert, isn't it? I mean, it's helping them to sell themselves still as a brand.
Oh yeah, that's exactly
beyond just perhaps their core group that would buy into it all anyway.
Well, they wrote the book and sold the rights just in time to release a 18-track reunion disc. So,
yeah, I love The Dirt. Mötley Crüe is a band that I listened to a lot when I was a kid. I used to take my dad's cassettes and just play them for hours. And Dr. Feelgood was an album I listened to over and over and over again. So Mötley Crüe will always have a special place in my heart because they were hardcore involved in discovering my love of music as a child. Their 1997 album, Generation Swine, is still my personal favorite album they've done. It mixed their hair metal style with new metal and groove metal. So, of course, I love it. That's super underrated stuff, and y'all should check out Generation Swine. It's awesome. But anyways, The Dirt. Music biopics, for me, are like romantic comedies. And what I mean by that is the tropier, the better. I don't want them to change their formula. I want them to stay exactly how they are. And so far, I mean, the filmmakers obviously have listened to me because they don't change their style at all. And I'm fine with that. I'm about to pull a Dave here for a second. I have read the book. I can't say that very often, but I have read the book to this. The book is filthy.
Yay! The book is so filthy.
The book is filthy. And with Netflix producing this, I knew it wouldn't be an exact representation of that book. I mean, it's just I knew it wasn't going to be that. So I kept my expectations in check, and I knew what it was going to be. And for the most part, the movie has a similar tone to the book, but obviously it's not going to be anywhere near as filthy as that book. It's just not going to be. It's a Netflix production, so it's just not going to happen. But I think the cast is really good. Machine Gun Kelly is fucking great in this movie. He steals the fucking show. I love Machine Gun Kelly in this role. He's really good in this. I will defend him forever as an actor. I've liked every performance I've seen of Machine Gun Kelly in every movie that I've seen. I know Dave disagrees, but I love Taurus, and I think he's great in that. I really like the rest of the group as well. Like Daniel Webber is really good as Vince Neil. I liked Douglas Booth. I had no problem with him at all in this movie. I don't know the guy's name that plays Mick Mars, but I think he was fine. I like what Jeff Tremaine did with this, and I like that he even snuck in some of his jackass antics into the movie with the Ozzy Osbourne scene of snorting ants and licking pee off the pool deck. Thought that was hilarious, but that was like a straight up jackass skit for sure. And it was cool to see Tremaine like tackle a narrative feature because I love Jackass and I love what he did with that show. It hits all the right notes for me as a music biopic. I think it's a lot of fun, but like I said, I'm super, super easy to please when it comes to music biopics. So, I mean, take that as you will. I had a blast with this. I've seen it a few times for now. It might be up there as one of my favorite music biopics, if I'm being totally honest. So, yeah, I think it's a blast.
You're sick, boy. Sick.
I also like Bohemian Rhapsody too, which is about the same.
Oh my god! Please don't let the T virus spread anymore. I'm teed out.
Oh, are you gonna cry when I pick The Runaways? Because I think that is amazing. That's like my favorite music biopic. So
I think I kind of like that one. Just no more Netflix trash, please. I subscribe to Netflix, so I'm part of the problem. But god damn it, they have like one or two programs I want to watch at all times. So I keep contributing. I'm I'm part of the problem, not the solution. Yeah, we're all gonna die anyway.
Well, you just bear that in mind and don't get too depressed when I vote for The Dirt.
Same. Dirt.
Shanks, and I do not accept either for The Dirt. I do not accept them. I don't know how that will pan out. I don't know whether there's anything I can do to stop these maniacs, but Shanks. And it's not Shanks isn't even that great, but it ain't a cultural holocaust.
Dave put himself on mute again and forgot.
Like, shit, I did. Okay. Next week.
Oh, you were doing the great Marcel impersonation.
I was miming it, but y'all didn't see or hear the swoosh of the air as I moved nimbly around. Next, that was so dumb. Next week, it's Shanks for me too, just so you know. Next week we are bringing the month to an end with a special designed by Tyler. It's tragic romances. He is having us watch Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. But there's 3 movies that will be facing off against that. My pick is the classic Chinese film Farewell, My Concubine. Don't rush it once, Kevin.
Oh, well, the obvious pairing with that is 1991's My Girl. That's my pick.
Craig, what do you have?
I announced mine last week, but again, it's
I know, but I forgot it. You got to say it again. You cut it out.
In a Lonely Place by Nicholas Ray.
Thank you. I forgot to write it down last week, and I forgot to write it down while editing, and now I've written it down. Thank you.
Not a problem.
It's a four film special week, Dave. A 4-film special week, and you pick the 171-minute film.
Yeah, I did.
That nice one. Mate, you just why don't you run Titanic by us and all?
That's why I told Craig my pick 7 days ago.
And I haven't caught up with them because I thought we had another week of normal picks, and now I've just realised I have not done that, and I'm in a wild panic as I now have to watch 4 movies. Shit.
Well, give him the business, T.
We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_ podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. I remembered this week. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment on Kevin's awesome videos weekly. We have a Discord. We have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, I forgot to do a video this week because I kept going to do one and then got distracted by shit like Diggerland. So I might just do a video one day reporting live from Diggerland.
Do it. We did have a special. Hold on, we did have a special video this week where we played Odogirisu over warts and all.
Yes, you did that with
Yeah. So
very, very nice.
What was your pick again, Dave?
That was a Dave video. Farewell, My Concubine.
Yes. Excellent.
It's long and fantastic, and I'm not going to win, but Tyler now has to watch a 3-hour movie about gay men in the Chinese opera. So I do win, no matter what. I win. As always,
you think yourself lucky, Tyler, because I was almost like, who's in love with each other in the Royal Tenenbaums? That's where my mind went immediately.
See, right? I try to reward everybody by picking like easy topics, and everyone wants to hurt me with Wes Anderson.
I don't want to hurt you. I picked an absolutely great film. It's just
I'm not talking about
long.
you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Kevin trying to pick Royal Tenenbaums. Although I wish someone died in that movie. I wish the whole cast died in that movie. But
as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. I might talk to you next week, or we won't be talking to each other ever again.
See you next week.
see ya.
See ya.